Joining us now is Congressman Krishnamoorthi. He is a member of the House Intelligence Committee, which is currently leading the impeachment proceedings. He also serves on the Oversight Committee. Congressman, I really appreciate you being here. Thanks tonight.
Hey, thanks, Rachel, and congrats on your book.
Thank you very much. I'm very embarrassed. Let me ask you about your committee and its plans and the speed at which this is proceeding. As far as I can tell, we've got this slate of 5 depositions coming up, 5 State Department officials who would have had knowledge of Trump's engagements with Ukraine. Those depositions are scheduled to begin this week. Do you think you're going to get all of those people to come in for their depositions?
I hope most of them come in. Certainly, it's important that Mr. Volker come in, as you mentioned. He is mentioned in the complaint several times by the whistleblower. And, you know, he has some interesting potential conflicts of interest that might shed light on whether he actually helped to pressure the Ukrainian president to actually do what President Trump wanted him to do. In any case, he's an important witness to some of the events that unfolded in Ukraine at that time.
Having him resign basically very shortly after you announced, your committee announced that he wanted to depose you, raised some interesting questions as to the timing of his resignation. I wonder if that has an effect, though, on the White House's ability to try to block this deposition if they are going to try to do so. We've seen them say basically no to requests for information. We've seen them say no to subpoenas. Do you think they're going to try to block any of these depositions? And does it make a difference if these are current or former officials, if they're going to try to do that?
Yes, if they're not currently employees of the administration, so to speak. In his case, he was never an employee. He was kind of some kind of an unpaid volunteer advisor in any case. But yes, if they're no longer employees of the administration, they have a little more freedom to testify. That being said, I wouldn't put it past this White House to assert all kinds of privileges with regard to information that these folks may or may not possess. Certainly, we've seen that in the case of Don McGahn in our demands for him to come before Congress to testify on any number of issues.
Obviously, there's going to be a huge amount of public interest in what Kurt Volker might have to say. The former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, who was recalled early from her post in sort of suspicious circumstances, seemed suspicious at the time. It seems particularly suspicious now in retrospect, now that we know what else was going on in the administration at that time. Do you expect that the public will ever know what happens in these proceedings? Are these going to be taped or transcribed? Is this committee counsel who's going to be carrying them out, or members of Congress? Are we ever going to see any of this stuff?
Sure. I think with regard to former Ambassador Ivanovich, I think that you're exactly right. I think she's going to have a lot to say about what occurred with regard to the allegations and the complaint. I think that we should have maximum transparency with regard to the proceedings. That being said, if classified information is shared or something that can't be displayed in open setting, it makes sense to have them in closed setting, and then perhaps later on Chairman Schiff will decide to publish the transcripts as he has in other situations. But in any case, we're trying to get at exactly what's what and make sure that we get to the bottom of the complaint ASAP.
With the exception of classified information, which of course goes without saying, people like me and a lot of people in the public will be banging down the door trying to get the transcripts of these depositions, if not the tapes. I can tell you now. Congressman Krishnamurthi, Democratic member of the House Intelligence Committee, sir, thank you for being here tonight.